They're living worldly lifestyles, they don't care, but they aid in hooking people like me. So once people like me come in, they then are the ones that give the Watchmen those 40,000 views, those 30,000 views. They're the faithful. They're the 30, 60, 100-fold over. The Bible is clear that narrow is the road that leads to life and few there be that find it. So therefore, even with a channel on YouTube that has got 500,000 subscribers, if it's a Christian channel, there will be few people that actually click on this channel that have found the path of life. Meaning that the return viewers will be among those few there be that find, and that's why you find a person with a channel that has got 40,000 subscribers only getting viewed 1,000, 4,000, 5,000 times.
Hello, please like, please comment, please share and share and share and share, and then please subscribe. Thanks.
Without the old one. And so your glory is true, it's authentic, it's raw, it's exactly what it is that is truly you. There is no fake you at all anymore. Old you is completely gone, and what's shining pristine now is your natural hair. This time around when you go out, people are like, oh my goodness, your hair looks so great, is it a wig? You're like, no, it's not a wig, it's my own natural hair. I grew it, and it took patience and perseverance to get out like that. The Lord is showing me that these women, what's going on right now with their struggle and their suffering, with these men that are having a really hard time coming around fast enough, is that they are in and of themselves being made more like Jesus, to be long-suffering, to be endearing, to be patient, slow to anger, abounding in steadfast love, not willing that anybody should perish, but that all should come to a knowledge of Him. God is preparing them to be better wives, and to be better mothers, and to be better nurturers of society, by enabling them to suffer very long, bad men, just like Hosea did Gomer.
Hey, are you feeling reached by my content on YouTube? If so, you might be interested in checking out my tweets as well, alongside reading my content on my WordPress account, alongside checking out my shorts on TikTok. They're all in the description box below. Please enjoy the next coming content. Bye.
So God is blessing His servants with a faithful, graduate program type student number, where you know who your people are, you know who your faithful subscribers are. They tend to either comment a lot, or they just stick with you, ride or die, and they're there, and they're the ones that contribute to your numbers, and they are the ones through whom the Lord then funds the church. So I imagine that the Watchman is likely able to maintain his life despite not having monetized his channel on YouTube, because there are people who probably literally pay him a salary from his channel every single month, knowing how much work he puts in. I personally have wanted to contribute something to his ministry, but you guys know I'm broke. I don't have anything to my name. I met the Watchman in this trial. I met his channel in this trial, so I was already really just kind of going through it, and I couldn't contribute anything. But I remember when I was employed, you know how the Bible says that we must tithe 10%. I used to tithe. I used to literally, I even with the church that I attended, I had registered for a program with them where they would take it off as an EFT, an electronic transfer. It was a mega church where they would take off 10% out of my salary. Well, of course, I told them what that amount was. I would tell them that take this much each and every single month, and each month it went off my account, and I did not have to be asked questions about it or anything like that. I just did it. I gave my 10%, but it was a mega church. It was seeker sensitive. It was lukewarm. It wasn't faithful to the gospel. I didn't even really know what my money was doing there, what it was contributing to, because they were not faithful to God's word. Of course, when I moved from that church to another one, I moved my EFT over to another church. The next church did not have the sophisticated system of taking EFTs from people, so creating an EFT system. So I used to do a transfer to the church bank account every month as soon as I got my salary. And I made sure it was 10%. Mind you, that 10% was the standard amount of money that I paid. Per month, as soon as my salary came in, it went, and it was a gross amount that I sent, not even a net. So it wasn't based on my net income, but on my gross, meaning that I basically gave more than 10% of what I received in cash or in my bank account that I could actually spend. That was the beginning first fruit, because even on the Sundays when they would send out the collection basket, I still put in whatever was in my purse. If I had 100 Rand note, I would put it in there. So I tended to give more even than my basic 10%. I gave more than that. And then if there was a cause in the church that they were all focusing on, like some orphanage, kids need school books, they need computers, then I would see if I can't give anything. So I gave more than 10%, but the foundational thing was 10%. That also, however, was a seeker-sensitive, lukewarm, kind of random, lackluster church. And then I moved to a Baptist church this time that was faithful to the gospel, but there were some other issues there, like my story with church hopping is just out of this world. I used to transfer. They didn't have the EFT thing either, so I used to transfer the money every single month. And then I stopped churching because I got thrown into this like persecution that I'm in right now, where I'm in obscurity. I don't have any money to give, but what I do give is this. This is my generosity. I sow seed with what I can do. In the kingdom of heaven, I do what I can. Without money, it is possible to bless people, right? So now that I am in this position, I realize that I could have, like back when I was in the seeker sensitive church, those two, where I was giving these thousands of rands to them every single month, I could have literally paid the salary of some faithful YouTuber that is sharing what God is showing them, and they're having a hard time, they're struggling. I could have taken 4,000-5,000 rands and given it to some dude, even if it's in dollars. Okay, fine. So the dollar and rand exchange would have made sure that the amount comes a little bit tiny to the guy in the US, but I would have nonetheless contributed to their monthly salary because they're faithful servants of God. They're faithful. They're actually really doing the work of God, and it is difficult for them to get heard. And even in their churches, they're persecuted because they're truly faithful, and they're a remnant in them. Type establishment thing. So I know now that once I get my own, once my life gets restored, I know exactly which ministries I'm going to sow into. I know exactly who I'm going to give what every month consistently, as in create a stop order on my account to go into their PayPal, to go into their banking accounts, whatever it might be. I intend to do that in the future, but right now, of course, I don't have an ability to do that. I imagine then that the watchman, the way that I think about the watchman, I would imagine that those 30, 40, 50, those 30, 40,000 people that consistently come and click on him, I would imagine that there is about, goodness, like 20% of them, 10% of them that in and of themselves consistently every month give him 10, like $100, $200, $300, $500, $1,000 out of their pockets. Because, guys, just perception on its own, like people know how to think for themselves. I have come to the conclusion that this guy is hardworking. He is hardworking, and because I am learning my own YouTube channel, I even recently came to understand that he's not even monetized. He has no adverts on his work, and he gets stricken down so much by YouTube. His videos get brought down so much that there's no way that he can monetize. So the money, whatever it is that is feeding his family, it's donations. And maybe he's got a 9-to-5, I don't know. And so therefore, I want to help him. I want to contribute to his life being okay. I want to help pay the fees of the children of his household. I want to do that. Right? Because I recognize that this is a laborer in the kingdom of heaven. So my thoughts about him, then of course, must be the thoughts that God has given many people on the internet for many of his servants that also catch a whole bunch of people in their subscriber numbers who are excited about Jesus for all of 5 seconds, but then walk away and never even remember again that they are subscribed to this person. But there will be those who consistently come back because I want to hear what the Watchman has to say. I want to hear what Tom Hughes has to say. Those videos, those channels that you watch, like, that you catch up on them. You watch them like you're watching series. Those people who watch Christian ministries like this are those that are hungry. They're hungry. The Bible says, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be fed. And so the hungry are small in number, but the hungry are sufficient to pay the salaries or the ways, the lives of the faithful servants of God. In these last days, the Lord has made it clear that it's going to be very, very difficult, very, very tough. Do you understand? For people in these last days, to hear the real gospel. Because people are not going to endure sound doctrine, and so they're going to gather for themselves a great number of teachers to teach them what their itching ears want to hear. That's what the last days is going to look like. Therefore, people are going to be tempted to be in and of themselves itching ears type teachers, scratchers. They're going to be tempted to scratch ears of people just so they can get their daily bread. It is such a huge temptation on YouTube to water down your content. It is such a massive temptation because when people don't come to look at you, you're like, oh my goodness, what's going on? Therefore, to find a true sound Christian that sticks to their guns the way that the Watchman has stuck to his guns, he has not allowed watering down of his person to happen. To stick to your guns that way is to basically remain faithful to the sheep that are struggling to find sound preachers. They are looking around everywhere. The shepherds of this world are scattering the sheep of God, leaving them stray and stranded. And so when these sheep find a shepherd that is faithful through and through and does not fall away, does not care that YouTube keeps on striking down their channel, does not care, you know what I mean? They stick by them and they support them. Because where am I going to find food to eat? Where am I going to find somebody to give me spiritual food? Where am I going to find spiritual meat, when I've been on spiritual milk? They're hard to find. They're hard to find. But when you find them, you hold on, guys. You hold on in the same way that the watchman was difficult to find. But as soon as I found him, I was like, this is my brother. I'm not walking away. I'm not leaving. So that is what is presently going on right now. The guy also gets prayed for. He asks for prayer requests on his channel and people pray for him. There was a time when he was sick and he got redeemed from that sickness. And I remember when he was sick, I was like, no, he can't die. Because he was really sick, like really, really out of it. I was like, Father, he can't die. If he dies, my exact words were, if he dies and goes to be with you, what's going to happen to me? Literally, I was like, where am I going to find a person like this again? Where am I going to find them? That is just how difficult it is to find sound people who stick to their guns on YouTube that serve Jesus. And of course, the Lord then blessed him. He healed him. I prayed for him. Other Christians prayed for him, and the guy came around full circle. So Christ is basically showing me right now that Karabo, do not, what do you call this thing? Don't fret or front yourself when your numbers are really low. Only recognize that which is factual. First of all, when you returned back to your channel, you were getting about 5 views maximum per video. You are now sitting on 30, girl. And these numbers keep on growing. You are growing. And I am growing you in a way that is going to give you a faithful base of people that will care for you, lift you up, raise you, and consistently come and be edified by you. Do not be tempted to water your work down or change even the insight or the, what do you call this? Change the poignancy of the content you share or even your edits. Don't be lackluster. Work for your people. Work and you will be rewarded in due season. I don't want my Christians having fluffy channels that people subscribe to, leave and never come back. But they've got there are people on YouTube. There was this one girl who covers TikTok videos and the random things people do on TikTok, mukbangs and what have you. And she has got 2.7 million subscribers. I listened to her content from the beginning to the end and by the one video. And by the time I was done to the end of her video, I remember thinking, 2.7 million subscribers just to show people what silly kids who eat too much on YouTube are doing. But not YouTube, but TikTok. Silly kids who are gluttonous on TikTok. And you have gotten 2.7 million subscribers just from sharing such things. It's purposeless. It's empty. It's hollow. I clicked on it. I watched to the end. But I am not going back to that channel. I'm not going back. That God does not want his Christians having channels like those. Where people will come in, watch to the end and not go back. God wants us to be edifying. If a person has itching ears, they will click off. If a person is in a rush, they will click off. They will try and get the gospel in 5 seconds on TikTok. Try and find healing in this broken and barren world from a 5-second conversation. You're not going to get it. So the ones that are sticking by you, watching video 1, 2 to 3, honey, they're the faithful that are going to one day not be 30 per video, but 40, and then 50, and then 100, and then 1,000. And just like the watchman, I am going to establish you in a consistently of about 40 to 50,000 people, even though you will end up with multiple hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I am going to hook people into your channel with your subscriber numbers, and then I am going to edify and give not sanctification, what am I looking for? Grace and understanding to those that actually want to hear. So they're not going to walk away from you. They will schedule when they check out your work. Just you continue to work. So the Lord has then inspired me to, because when I edit my content, right, my editing template or the way that I work is now more or less the same. It's consistent. I need to give or take, try and figure out what to do. The Lord has said, when you do your edits, try and edit 2 videos at a time, because your templates are exactly the same. and then publish these 2 videos. So that if anything comes in the way, like a power cut and what have you, you will always have the finished product to upload on YouTube. And then upload them, and then schedule when they are going to get published. Schedule. Because YouTube has that feature inside it in the editing joint, where you can upload a video and schedule. Another thing that also gets interrupted are my uploads. Like if you're busy uploading a video on YouTube and then South Africa does what South Africa does, oh goodness gracious, the power cut is going to make sure that your upload must either start from scratch, or it's going to take it's merry time carrying on from where it left off. So I sometimes have to wait for 2 hours for my content to upload again. And because my videos are higher quality, they are uploading at a much slower pace on YouTube. So God was like, if you want your work to like go out at the right time, within the times that people look at you, like if you want to publish your work not in the wee hours of the morning, but at 8 a.m. in the morning, at 9, where people are more likely to pick it up, or at 6 p.m. at night, where they're more likely to pick it up. And again, depending on your target audience, what I am literally not even gunning for South Africa, guys. I'm gunning for the international market. So I have got to publish my work at a time when, for instance, the United States of America is at 6 p.m. in the afternoon, or 7 p.m. or whatever. The Lord has told me that I need to do things that way so as to increase the likelihood of getting viewed. Schedule my work, like experiment, test to see what time of day that gets picked up immediately, quickly. Because if you schedule your work at a particular time of day and it gets picked up faster, even YouTube is going to recommend it across more and more people. And so those that I'm trying to bring into the fold to hear the truth of what I'm having to say will then click on you. If after you upload your content, people are not looking at it straight away, YouTube is going to stop recommending it. And so it's not going to find itself in that, like public page or whatnot, like the tenement of the For You page on TikTok. You need to schedule. So I'm going to start doing my edits. Like right now, the power shall return at about 6 p.m. I don't know what time it is right now, but the sun is setting, okay? It's winter, that's why it's setting so quickly in South Africa. I am going, because I've already done my work for the day, because I've already done a video for the day, I am going to take a shower, and then, given that I know there's not going to be a power cut, at least not until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, I am going to edit 2 or 3 of my videos, publish them to my Mac desktop, my folder for videos, upload all 3, well, it's going to be 9 parts across 3 videos, and then schedule all of them to publish at set times, one after the other. And once they're on YouTube, ready to schedule, then I'm good. Then I don't have to skip days, because I really don't I want to upload my videos every single day. I do. And right now I'm backlogged like no man's business. So the only way to make sure that I don't maintain myself in this backlog is to do that. I will then continue to do my videos every single day, but I will not worry anymore that I'm backlogged and my work is not done. People are waiting, that are freezing. Literally, I had this vision of a woman, like a white woman, like waiting outside of my ministry, freezing, like she was shivering. And she was just waiting for me to upload content. And I'm busy like slapping her with TikTok compilations. God wants me to feed the sheep. Peter, do you love me? Yes, feed my sheep. I am very inspirational to women right now, and I am trying to help ladies to realize what in the world is going on with this prodigal son mess that's out here in these streets. And there are women who are actively waiting outside of my ministry to see what Karabo has to say next. I want to see how this thing is going to unfold, because I've got the same problems, and I am taking 2-3 days to come back. 2-3 days to come back, and when I come back with a TikTok compilation. So Christ said to me, fine, go and upload your TikTok compilations if you want to. Edit them, but make sure they come amidst your bigger, chunkier work. Because the TikTok thing might bring kids from TikTok into your channel, where you will link your YouTube page. But the people who are already your faithful subscribers, you cannot overlook them for the TikTok audience that currently is not even looking. Like, you need to look within the church, those who are interested in what you have to say first, before those that you could even bring in. You must take care of the fold that is already yours. Take care of the people that are already here. And then you will pay attention to fishing out others from the darkness. Those who are already trying to see the light, you can't abandon them in favor of those that are yet to come in to the fold. It's I mean the sun is setting, so I'm getting uncomfortable with how dark things are getting right now. I've just switched on the light, so let me just I need to sort of seal this before the sun is gone. I've used this analogy before where Christ has described the travesty going on in the church, where ministers of the faith are focusing on bringing people seeker sensitivity. They are focusing on bringing people into the fold from outside while neglecting the sheep that already have chosen Jesus. The Lord is very careful for his actual babies, those who have actually embraced the gospel. So it is irresponsible of Christian ministers to focus more on the lost of the world than the sheep. Like, charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. So you need to focus on those that are already watching you instead of trying to get others out there. Those out there, you will focus on evangelizing them. It is true, you need to bring them into the fold. But first and foremost, you must take care of your immediate environment. It is also similar to, for instance, you know what happens in this world where people will take care or love the kids of other people, and then you come home and you speak down to your own child? Yeah, that's what the Lord has told me is going on in the church right now, where servants of God are happy to aid those who are outside of the fold more than the struggling inside. And God has told me not to fall into that trap. I need to concentrate on my faithful people, and then in my spare time, literally in my spare time, whatever that even means in my life, go out then to TikTok to try and fetch other people. Try and see what I can do to market my work, but I need to concentrate on my immediate people. So I'm gonna go and do my edits now when the power returns, and sit literally in front of my computer for hours doing 2 or 3 videos edits, publishing all of them, uploading all of them, but scheduling them to publish at different dates, so that by the time I do my next batch of edits, my work is still publishing on its own. It's doing its own thing on YouTube, like having a little bit of a life of its own, without people being made to wait, because apparently I am like binge worthy. Apparently I'm like a series to some people, where they don't even like watch a video today and then come back tomorrow and the next day, but they watch them like one after the other, because they're that thirsty and hungry, because apparently what I'm covering is relevant to so many people that they can't wait for they are curious to know what in the world is going down. And Garab was out here trying to fish some kids from TikTok. So I do apologize for having done that. And I am edified as well, inspired by Jesus, to not be scared about tomorrow. He knit me together in my mother's womb. And so he has this conversation about the prodigal son. I've been wanting to throw in the towel on it. But the Lord has told me, you will see what I'm doing. Like, he's basically just said to me, you'll see. You'll see. All he has said is, you will see. So when I first came here to chat, like this particular chat session, remember I said my hair, I'm busy putting a headband around it because it's growing out. Well, the Lord has shown me that these ladies that are suffering as much as they are concerning these bad men that appear to not be coming around fast enough, he has shown me that they're like indeed hair growth underneath 4C hair, like 4C hair growth underneath a protective style. You don't see their true glory. You don't see that they're actually striving from, like, that their fortitude concerning their prodigal husbands and whatnot, nobody sees that they are growing because of it, that their spiritual discipline, that their strength in Jesus Christ is magnifying, precisely because they are being made to suffer men long. They're being made to suffer these men long. They're being given a patience and a fortitude and a stride and a dignity in their step that is growing from strength to strength, but it doesn't show for now. The thing about 4C hair is that when it grows underneath your protective style, in the beginning, your protective style looks really good. In the beginning, your protective style looks good because there's no growth and it's all crisp, it's neat, it's fresh, and you can rock up without wearing a headband on it to cover it. But what's looking good is rather fake hair and not your own hair, right? But as time progresses, your protective style starts to look old and like you're unkept and what have you. And you look like you are a mess. You've fallen off the railings. You don't know how to have your own back, your physical appearances back anymore. Like, you've literally just let yourself go. It looks that way. But what is rather true is that it is a transitory phase from fake to real, or a transitory phase from the you that you wanted to put in front of the world to imagine you without flaws, to the real you. So your own hair is growing underneath, making your fake hair not look as good as before. Meaning that which is truly original and authentic is growing. And so therefore, the glory of the former you that you used to imagine was glorious is therefore also fading. When then you do bring down your protective style, and then finally get to see that even though your hair looked really nasty by the time you brought down the protective style because it had grown out, your afro has grown and your natural hair is looking more and more glorious. The day is going to arrive when my own natural hair reaches the length of this hair if I continue to maintain my hair care routine. My hair will eventually, after however many years, get to this. So it's almost as if though God is growing us. And how can I describe it a little bit more? I know I'm big on analogies, and right now the car battery is dying. Not car battery, but the sun is setting. When I was working in corporate, I was a project manager for a certain portion of my career, and I used to do software development projects where we would there was one project where we had to hand over a new system to a call center, a new teleprompting system to a call center. But because it was a call center and it was a live environment where customers were calling in, we couldn't just take these kids, train them, and just boom, put them on the new system, because they were going to fumble around and mess with the customer's experience on the phone, because they didn't know how to work the system properly. So there was an integration where there was one batch of call center agents that had the system that had the system rolled out to them in the live environment, but they were working in the live environment of the new development code next to the old environment, such that if they stumbled around in the new system, they could quickly just jump back to the old system, and so the customer does not have an interruption in their experience. And then these kids would then learn over time exactly how the system works, and then they would gradually wean out the old system, and then they would now be on the new system. And then they went on after that happened to roll the same strategy out in the next batch of call center agents, and next batch and next batch and next batch, until eventually the whole call center had the new system in without interrupting customer experience. That's how hair growth is. Your old hair grows underneath protective styles until your own natural hair is literally this. Your own natural hair is all this because you waited all of those years to grow it out in patience, and in the beginning of growing it out, you had to put fake hair on it in order to conceal the thing that was going on underneath. There is a system rollout that first has got the old system working alongside the new one, but the new one grows and grows and grows until eventually all you have is the new system without the old one. And so your glory is true, it's authentic, it's raw, it's exactly what it is that is truly you. There is no fake you at all anymore. The old you is completely gone, and what's shining pristine now is your natural hair. Such that this time around when you go out, people are like, oh my goodness, your hair looks so great. Is it a wig? And you're like, no, it's not a wig. It's my own natural hair. I grew it, and it took patience and perseverance to get out like that. The Lord is showing me that these women, what's going on right now, with their struggle and their suffering, with these men that are having a really hard time coming around fast enough, is that they are in and of themselves being made more like Jesus, to be long-suffering, to be endearing, to be patient, slow to anger, abounding in steadfast love. I'm not willing that anybody should perish, but that all should come to a knowledge of Him. God is preparing them to be better wives, and to be better mothers, and to be better nurturers of society, by enabling them to suffer very long, bad men, just like Hosea did Gomer. And this is chiseling and refining them into something beautiful, spectacular, that people are going to be shocked one day that, oh my goodness, that's your real hair. I thought it was a wig. Like the glory of their character is going to be so stark that people are going to be surprised that this person was once this, and now look at them. Look at how refined they are. Look at how dignified they now are. And so the motivation that they are going to become, the inspiration that they're going to become to other women to be that godly, is going to be through the roof. Not only that, the men that they patiently endured the evil of are going to be so besotted, so enamored, so in love, and not only in love, but recognizing that literally it does not come better than this. It does not get better than this. Like, God does not make them better than this. It does not get any better. So there will be no cheating. There will be no underappreciation. There will not be any of these issues that women in the world struggle with. A man that thinks that he can do better because there is some beautiful young model that looks better than her. As you age, he's going to literally be enamored with the refined you, the peaceable and tranquil spirit that made you a glorious woman from the inside out. So you are not going to struggle with, the attention span issues of men who, when they marry their 20-something-year-old wives, then all of a sudden become inconsistent in how they imagine them glorious when they turn 35, when they turn 45, when they turn 55. Your man is going to stay consistent from the moment you get married all the way up until the end. One, because you suffered him long, and secondly, he will have watched you blossom like a flower in light of your dignity, in light of your glory. He will have watched your hair grow out, and in the season when your hair had grown out and now what's left on the surface was the mop, he will have been tempted to diss you for looking kind of strange, desperate, for looking weird, whack, for not looking good enough, because everybody knows when your hair has grown out, just before you're about to bring down that protective style, you look really bad. You look unkept. You look like you don't care about yourself until you bring down your fake hair. You wash your natural hair underneath and you show people the progress that you've made with your afro. And then all of a sudden people are like, wow, my goodness, what glory is that in this woman's natural hair. So continue then to grow your hair. Continue to show the progress that you make after each new protective style comes down, and then put the protective style back on and watch your hair grow. Watch your glory grow. Watch your dignity grow. Watch the system integration project grow from strength to strength, where eventually the call center agents will have inherited a new system. Watch it grow. This is the thing that God is doing. He is refining his daughters, and he is also making it such that there's no longer going to be toil, trouble, and tumult later on in marriages, because people of the world really have a hard time in marriages, and God is trying to reduce the difficulty of those hard times in our marriages. So this guy that I am personally currently praying for and about is a present fool. He's a buffoon, and I don't even know who passes up a woman so ride or die, a woman waiting so hard knock for him. But God has shown me that it's not in vain, and the little audience that I have got that's watching me is made up predominantly of women. There are some men, however, who likely in and of themselves are prodigal sons, but it's made up predominantly of women, and the Lord has basically charged me to be faithful to my sisters because I'm helping them wait. I'm helping them stay strong in the presence of these ridiculous men. And I am looking stranded right now and abandoned, but I'm not. I'm growing, and I'm growing gradually. So as for when my channel is going to be monetizable is irrelevant. God has shown me you've got food to eat for today. You've got water to drink for today. You've got shelter over your head for today. Just continue to follow me by the Spirit. I will lead you and a lot of what improvements to make in your ministry, and you will notice your gradual growth. And the thing that I said the other day, that God does not want me thriving with the level of prosperity of like a really good or successful YouTuber before my husband comes into the picture, precisely because of the fact that the excellence or the success of my ministry is going to make him feel like he was a fool that sat around in the background literally just waiting to see what's going to happen, and then next thing I skyrocket, and then he's going to look as if though he is opportunistic and capitalizing on the fact that I succeeded anyway, and so I will never trust him. So therefore what I'm doing right now is likely going to only be burgeoned to the height that God wants to eventually take it once this guy comes around, if he comes around. But I said yesterday that he's got until the 10th of July for me to either not drop the ball, but let this go, or for him to come around and do what he needs to do. I should not be waiting for longer than that, and I have a right, as I spoke yesterday, to indeed make him put a deadline on this. I cannot just carry on like this and indefinitely just hope and strive for something that's not going to come around. So foolishness is not something that we wear in the kingdom of heaven. We wear prudence. We wear prudence. We wear wisdom, not foolishness. So you don't just hold on to something that you know you must let go of. Therefore, the deadline must be given at some point. And I have a deadline, and it's the 10th of July. And whatever's going to happen on the 10th of July or on the 11th, the very next day after my fast ends, we will see. So, yeah, that is what I wanted to say. The power is still not here. Based on looking around at the complex, there should be lights. People's lights are in their gardens and whatnot should be switching on, but nothing of that nature. But I'm gonna take a shower. By the time I'm done with the shower, the power will probably have returned, because it goes for like 2 hours. That's what I wanted to say. So today's gonna be a day full of edits. I hope you've been edified, guys, by what it is that I have brought forward. I know I can ramble, I know I can rap on, but it takes forever and a day for me to eventually get to the point that I need to make. Nothing that I'm doing is in vain. My channel is going to grow. I'm going to get a faithful number of, never mind subscribers, but people who actively come to look for my work. And those people are the ones that God is going to bless me with as a classroom and university that I'm lecturing over. And I will also be enabled somehow financially to be okay. I'm going to get out of this somehow. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but people are going to aid my cause. I shouldn't worry about getting to those 1,000 subscriber numbers on YouTube in order to monetize, or even those 4,000 watch hours, because I am going to, even before then, from what the Lord has shown me, even before then, I'm going to get enabled somehow by people who are faithfully watching my content and are wearied in their spirits, having taken it to God by the fact that I'm working so hard with no reward and they're feeling so edified by my work, and so to basically reprieve me, they're going to help me. That's what God showed me. So I am worried. Yes, I will not stop worrying. I am anxious. I'm extremely anxious. But every single day, God gives me comfort to not be so anxious anymore. I'll be okay. But my heart's broken. It's really broken. And I am exhausted from this guy, from waiting on the Lord for him. I don't know what's going on there, but at least I know what's happening with my channel. I'm signing out in Christ's name. I hope you've been edified. Crank K. Peace.
Don't forget to like.